I finally picked up another tracked skid steer. Been waiting a while. I had bought a excavator and a skid steer back when I first got the property to do a lot of the work, the driveway, getting little trees out and tearing down the deck off the old house, stuff like that. And I didn't have anywhere to store it. It was before I had the containers, and I don't know, they probably both would have fit in one of those, but I really didn't want to deal with it, so I just sold them before winter and figured I'd buy them again in the spring. And those two pieces of equipment I think I got for about $30,000 total between the two. Skid steer was probably 15, and excavator was 15, something like that. And I think I bought a few implements with it. But in the spring, I tried to, this was during COVID. In the spring, when I went to buy new ones, a skid steer was 25,000 plus. So I would have been, 45,000 or so between a mini and a skid steer. And that was for a smaller one. So I've been waiting a while. Bought one with a friend and had him buy me out last summer or last fall. I don't even remember anymore. Maybe it was this spring. But so I've just been kind of sitting on some money for that. I put it in Robinhood and been kind of putting it to work. But found this one at an auction the other day. It's got a few issues. You can see the lift cylinder is leaking really bad right there. I ran it for a couple hours today, smoothing out all this, filling in dirt over my septic and all around the yard. Goose is getting kind of mad at me because I'm filling in his little mud hole. It's getting smaller and smaller, and he's over there in the tiny little puddle chasing frogs. Filling in this low spot here, trying to taper that off towards the woods because this holds water a lot right in there. But anyways, this video is about the skid steer. This is a big 11,000 pound machine, has a high flow. I really just need to fix that lift cylinder. They said that the auxiliary hydraulics leaked a little bit. It is dripping a little, so this fitting might need to be replaced, cleaned up maybe, I don't know, but very faint drip. I can see it now on there. So I got to look at that. I did buy a Harley, not a Harley rake. Harley's kind of like the Kleenex brand tissues. It's a power rake. I had hired a guy to do my driveway with one this summer, and it was amazing how it turned out. So I picked this up at the auction as well. Topcat, I think it's a 72 inch. The teeth are kind of worn down, but I'm going to see how it works. I think you can replace them. This outer tooth just goes inside of a little hole with some kind of adhesive, Permatex or something. I'm not sure how you get it out, probably with heat, and there's a lot of them. So if I can find those, or if this doesn't work very good without replacing those teeth, I'll figure that out. I think this particular model, you can swap this drum out for a rototiller as well. So I might contact the manufacturer, and if they sell replacement drums, it might be more cost and time effective just to get a replacement. I don't know, we'll see. I didn't pay too much for this. They're like $7,000 new. I think I got it for like $1,500 plus some fees. So even if I had to put $500 in time into replacing those, would be a pretty good buy. Now I just need to get some forks for it. That'd be pretty handy to be able to load and unload stuff off the trailer. I need to get an equipment trailer as well. I don't have anything to haul this stuff around anymore. So, but it's a nice machine. Need to get a new seat for it. The right joystick, I took apart and kind of fitted it back together and used some electrical tape. I'd like to find a door for it because I'd like to run like a big brush mower with this, and you really want a door when you're running those. It does look like it has the condenser for AC. I got to figure out which switch runs that, or if it's disconnected. There's some little things like this wire is just kind of dangling here. It could get pinched or something. You don't want that. I did grease it up. All the Zerks took grease pretty well. Oops. Pretty clean looking machine. This was staying up earlier. If that falls, I'm sorry. Yep. It was staying up earlier, but I think I need to put a lift thing in. Fluids were all pretty good. Hydraulic fluid was lower earlier, so I don't know why it's higher now that it's off, but keeping an eye on that. Oil was good level, looked a little dark, so I'll probably change that, get a maintenance kit for it. Fuel gauge works, it appears. Coolant was full, so I think I got a pretty good deal on it. It's higher miles, or hours. It's like 5,000 something. I did get the seal kit for this, so I got to figure out how that comes apart. I think this bolt comes out, and then this pin comes out. And then I probably want to, when I take it off, kind of prop it up and then extend this piston all the way out, so it's easier to kind of tear apart. We'll see. I've rebuilt a couple small cylinders before. This one's a little bigger than what I've done, but they're all kind of the same. This one you have to have some sort of tool to twist this end cap off. I did a couple on the Mini in the tracks. They were really tiny though, really easy to work with, and you can pull the whole thing off. I might end up taking this whole thing off too. It wouldn't be too bad. Just there's a bolt here. You have to take a couple lines off. I do have a cap kit for those. It's the other thing, like this got replaced and it's not the right length. Maybe it is, and you have to have some slack, but I don't like the way it's kind of in there. It could get pinched right there. It should be in that track probably. So I don't know, there's a few things that need attention, but these bushings on the bucket quick attach are kind of worn out, but it worked fine. I got to test it's got the quick hydraulic quick attach, so you don't even have to like slam down on the little levers to put a bucket on or change out an implement. I got to test that. I want to get a little bit of working on it today to see how the controls work. It's a little different. Both these aren't cat controls, which I'm used to, and both joysticks push forward and backwards for forward and reverse, and then the left joystick is for raise and lower of the bucket, and then the right one is tilt. So it's very confusing when you're used to one joystick for movement and the other one for bucket controls. But I think I got it down pretty well today. It's pretty cool how it works. You feel like you have a little bit more control. You're kind of more one with the machine with the way it's set up, as long as the tracks are moving well at the same pace. It's good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's a 450ct Series 3. I think it has like an 85 or 90 horsepower 4-cylinder diesel with the high flow, like I said, so you can run some high flow attachments on it. That's a high flow device, and then I have a snow plow down there that's adjustable. You can hydraulic it. It uses hydraulics to tilt the blade to the right, to the left. It's like a 7-way blade, kind of like a dozer blade, but it's a snowplow one. So I'll be using this, which is another reason I'd like to have the door. Hoping the heat works as well. Heat usually is pretty reliable because it just channels heat from the radiator, I believe. So the treads are pretty good on this. I think there's some cracking in there. I see some concrete on the bucket. I'm not sure if this was the original bucket. I think it was. So I'm hoping it wasn't used for concrete, but usually if they use concrete, they do concrete, this undercarriage would be just totally gouged and scratched, and it looks pretty good. Missing that cover plate there, so I'll have to make up a piece of metal to cover that. And then these holes look like they need to be rethreaded, so I've got a kit for doing that. I have all the tools for stuff. There's just some things I haven't done before, but that's something I enjoy doing. There's another cover missing there, so it's like they were maintaining it and just left off all the covers, which that's not a big deal. But if you ended up in a mud hole like I have before, you don't want mud flowing into that. You want some kind of barrier, so it'd be nice to fab up a cover for that. I have a plasma cutter somewhere brand new in the box that I've never gotten out. So yeah, there's a few track issues. I did find a date on the track, kind of like tires. It says 2003, so this machine's a little bit older than I thought, but overall it's in really good condition. The bumpers on these are kind of a counterweight on these big machines. The other thing I was pretty amazed at was there's no tow hooks on the back of this. You can, I did use chains around this counterweight, so I guess you could hook on there and pull out with that, but it is a 450ct. I was going to look up the serial number and see if I could figure out what year it is, but I would think it's like a 2002 or 2003. So all right, I'm just rambling. Has a good cutting blade on it. It's a bolt-on cutting blade. I always say I'm rambling and then I continue to ramble, so I need to also figure out what these pedals are for down here. I can't remember what the label, it looks like there's like a wire label. I don't know if that's for the auxiliary hydraulics or not, but I don't know. I like the machine. I just need a door, a new seat, rebuild that cylinder, maybe get a replacement auxiliary hydraulic connector there. I think that's the female one. Bigger one's female. It might be both of those. I don't know. Gotta figure out which one's leaking. It might be both of them. It might just be aged. So thanks for watching.